Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my studio. This is Paint with Lovejoy. Thanks so much for joining me. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to the channel and check out the other videos. And if you're here for a second, third, or fourth time, thank you so much for coming back and getting creative. Alright guys, it's going to be another fun painting for my first time painters. So grab your supplies, head on over to wherever you have your setup, and as always, make sure you take your progress photos. Now today is going to be a silhouette design and we're going to fill in the background with shades of pinks and purples. So you are more than welcome to switch out colors if you want to do something different. So first we're going to start with the light pink, and that's going to be white with a tiny amount of red. And you will notice that a little bit of red is going to go a long way to make your pink. Now if yours is a little lighter or darker than mine, totally okay. And we're going to kind of start about in the center. Doesn't have to be exact, but we're going to kind of lay this base and then grow it, and we'll put our darker and a few other colors around it. So I want you to kind of just fill in that metal space, kind of observe the shape that I make on the canvas. I do recommend that you apply your paint a little bit thicker than you may be comfortable with. That will help with the blending as well as the coverage. And I am using student grade paint here, and you'll notice where I go back and just, grab more paint. And if you have to mix your color 2 or 3 times, it's okay if you have a slight variation in your shade. So here I actually added more red to my pink mixture to go to a medium pink. And again, if yours is a little bit lighter or darker than what I have on the video, that is okay. There's a lot of wiggle room with pretty much all of the paintings on my channel. I do gear towards first time and beginner painters, so I want you to have fun and enjoy the process of painting more than trying to get something perfect, because you're learning a lot right now. So we're going to use a light purple for the rest of the canvas, and that was white with a little bit of purple, just like mixing your shades of pink. And as you bring this purple right up next to that pink, it is okay to overlap it and do what we call wet on wet blending as you mix the two colors. And it may create a bit of a warmer purplish color, and that's really kind of pretty. So enjoy kind of overlapping these colors and just playing with getting lost in the process of mixing paint. If you happen to be on a stretched canvas, I do recommend that you carry these colors around the sides of the canvas now while you have the colors made, compared to trying to match it at the end of your painting. And another thing for my first time painters, if you're holding your breath, take a big inhale, relax, you're doing a great job. You almost have the full surface covered, and that's quite a satisfying feeling. And again, I'm really proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone and painting at home. You are going to just realize that it is a relaxing process, and hopefully it gets inspires you to paint more. So do everything that you want to your background now. If you want to go back and add some darker purple, if you want to go back in and add some darker magenta, do it now while your background is wet, because we are not going to come back to the background after this point. And when we move into the next step, I will recommend letting this background dry before we do the next step. So again, just have fun. If you want to finger paint, get in there. It's a lot of fun. It's very satisfying and tactile. But just get lost in moving paint on the canvas. All right, so when you are done, take your progress photo, let your background dry, and we're going to move into black paint, and we're going to put our horizon line on first, then our little dock, and then the branches. So it doesn't really matter where it's at, but kind of that lightest area. And if you need to kind of make sure that the shape is the same, you see where I'm putting my thumb on the corner and then my first finger where the line is, and holding that position to make a few other marker lines. If you're inclined to just shoot a line right across, go for it. Don't think about it too much. And then I did put a bit of a mountainous scene on the horizon line and then filling that in. You can add as much of mountains as you want or as flat as you want. If you want to put a volcano back there or palm trees or something, you're more than welcome to make your horizon line what you want. Now, I was actually picturing that this was a lake, so kind of on the edges of that horizon line, I did kind of curve them towards the bottom. And now we're putting our dock in here, and we're going to start with kind of a rectangle. Does not have to be perfect. So you can see where I placed the two dots in the center and then just kind of carried my line straight down. We are going to adjust this later on as I'm filling it in. We'll make it a bit more angled, but we'll do that then. So go ahead and fill in that space with your black paint. And again, if you're on that stretched canvas painting the edges, just carry this around the side. All right, so we do have to put a support structure. Oh, actually, we're moving into the branches. Forgot about that. All right, so we do have our branches here, and I start with kind of the main branch, and it can be a little bit thicker. I am using that middle flat brush, and then with lighter pressure or the small pointy brush, you'll be making lighter lines as you get into the little branches. And to make lighter lines or skinnier lines, use light pressure with your brush. And if you find that you're kind of shaky as you go to do this, exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas, and that will give you a little bit more steadiness. It's the actual act of holding your breath that's making you shaky. And if you don't want to add branches in here, you don't have to. If you want to add more than I have in here, go right ahead and do it. All right, and then I am actually grabbing the small pointy brush now. It's a little bit easier to make some of those smaller lines. And then we're also going to be doing little reflecting lines. So these are not perfectly straight. There's a little bit of a wiggle to these lines, but we are keeping them pretty horizontal. You're imagining that these are the ripple lines on the water. And because we have that black silhouette at the horizon line, we would have some of that reflecting onto the water. So that's why we're doing these lines with the black paint. Same thing with the branches. If you find that you're shaky, exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas. And then here's the support structure. And you can see where I just kind of made a cylinder or a rectangle and then realized that we actually need to extend in a diagonal the edges. There we go. So extend the edge of your pier so that way our support structure will be a little bit more logical. And that was just starting at the end and just widening that angle out. And then we're going here to put the rectangles or cylinders for the support structure on our pier, getting a little bit bigger as it gets towards the bottom of the canvas. If you are having kind of a hard time seeing the perspective of all of this, I do recommend that you get out of your chair and look at your painting from a distance of 5 to 10 feet away. And it makes it, that's the normal viewing distance, so it makes it a little bit more appropriate for what you're actually looking at compared to being so close while you are painting it. With that being said, everything looks better from a distance, so do not be upset if you like your painting more from a couple feet away compared to 2 feet in front of you on your easel. All right, another spot to take your progress photo. And now we're going to move into blue paint and do those same kind of ripple lines on the water. And again, this just gives the effect that we have this ripple line, this movement of water. If you want really rough water, you can have a little more movement in your lines. If you want super calm water, you can make these a little bit straighter. And we are filling up quite a bit of space, but we're allowing space in between the lines to show from our background color. And this would be the sky reflecting onto the water. Um, and like I said, we are going to fill in this whole space, and then we will be making a medium blue mixture and doing the same thing. So if you want to introduce other colors or you want to do a few other shades or you want to skip that step, full permission on any of those. All right, so for a light blue, that is going to be white with a little bit of blue. And I'm going for light blue. You can go a little bit darker if you want. And same thing, just kind of making these ripple water lines on our lake. You guys are doing a great job. I'm really proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone and painting at home. Um, I do recommend to all my students, please try to find creative outlets on a regular basis and try to at least once a month do one simple small painting. It will help the other aspects of your life. All right, so getting those last little water lines in there, and then I will recommend to do another pause the video, take your progress photo. We'll move into the blooms on the branches. And we're going back to light pink. And if you do not want to do flowers or you don't want to do the light pink, you can switch out this color. If you want to do wisteria, that's going to be a light purple. If you want to do green leaves on a tree because it's spring, go right ahead. Full permission to do what you need for your painting. So for these flowers, I was kind of imagining cherry blossoms, and I've got quite a few cherry blossom paintings on there, so I need to deviate from my comfort zone and my normal. So I'll be making more videos with other flower options. But we're basically just kind of making little blobs on here, starting with the light pink first, and literally, like I said, just blobs or dots that are overlapping each other. And then we'll use a little bit more medium pink or even the direct red for the centers. And it kind of same application right on top of it. And I do recommend that if you are inclined to switch colors, go ahead and do that. Just I like a bit more pop, so I think the green leaves or the purple flowers would look a little bit better than the pink flowers that I chose for this video. So sometimes that's part of the process, you know. You could paint it a second time and you take all the things that you wish you would have done the first time and you do that into your second painting. So if you end up painting this a couple of times, nothing is wrong with that. It's actually you're learning each time you do that. All right, so now moving into the white, I think we will put a few little marks on our blossoms, but then we're going to put some highlights in the on our little pier. There we go, with these little lines, kind of imagining that they're planks on the board, and it also kind of helps break up the space. So I'm just using light pressure. These are a bit more straight than the water ripple lines, just because there would be less movement on the wood. But if you happen to kind of get that same, like a little bit of a wiggle in your line, that's okay. You have a dancing pier, which is sometimes fun, or even a floating pier. Sometimes that happens. All right, and then like I said, just kind of breaking up that space, getting a few little highlights on the support structure. Anywhere else you might want to put it, if you want to put a figure sitting on the end of the pier, or a shark in the lake, or a paddleboarder, or a little boat on there, get as creative as you want and add things. Oh, I forgot, we did put a moon in here. So I did put a crescent moon, and that's basically just making a C shape with your brush. If you want to do a full moon, place a dot where you want the center of the moon, and then just keep making that dot bigger until you have your moon the size that you want. And then just doing little dots for stars. All right, and then gonna go back to the black and add a few extra. Here we go, a few little touch-ups. And oh, I forgot to put the grass in here too. Sometimes I do these paintings, like 3 or 4 I'll paint in a day, and then I do the voiceovers maybe a week or 2 later, and, it's kind of like a new discovery sometimes. It's like, "Oh, yeah, we did add that." So for these, kinda grass lines, I'm using that middle flat brush, holding it sideways, starting from, um, the edge of the canvas and just kind of flicking my brush up and keeping light pressure, and notice that I am reloading the brush every 2 or 3 brush strokes. If you want to do this with green, go right ahead. If you want to do something different, do that as well. So great job today, you guys. Really, really grateful that you got creative. Thanks for spending some time with me. And until next time, cheers. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the process of painting, and I hope how you liked how your paintings turned out. I'm really proud of you for painting at home. As you're uploading your pictures to social media, please tag me at or hashtag paintwithlovejoy, or email me your pictures, paintwithlovejoy@gmail.com. I really enjoy seeing those. I try to post them on social media and encourage other beginners and first-time painters to try painting. So please share this with your community and keep getting creative. If you have any comments, feedback, suggestions, things you want me to paint in the future, go ahead and leave a comment, and I will answer them as quickly as I can and try to get those new paintings in my production list and on the rotation. So thanks again for taking time out of your day to get creative with me. Don't wait too long to do your next one. And until then, cheers.